Now, another ANC councillor has been gunned down in KwaZulu-Natal. Cassim Phiri was the branch deputy chair in Ward 14, eThekwini region. eNCA senior reporter Siphamandla Goge is following this story for us. He's joining us now live from that part of eThekwini. Good afternoon, Ngome. Welcome to today. Thank you very much for your time. What's the latest you can tell us about this case in particular? Is there any idea yet what happened?
Before I answer that question, let me tell you that the funeral service of the late Cassim Phiri will get underway shortly. I see there is some movement further up there. My colleague Lungelo Zungu will show you male members of this community and also relatives are lining up there to receive his body that will be arriving any minute from now. And then once all of that is done, the funeral service will get underway. There are mourners that are already seated here waiting for the body to arrive, and then the funeral service will commence. He is being laid to rest this afternoon after being gunned down yesterday night. He was attending a meeting of the ANC and his fellow comrades had left the meeting. He was remaining behind with some very few people when he was attacked, shot and killed. So that's what happened according to the family members of the deceased. In terms of the circumstances surrounding that, we understand that the investigation is underway. ANC authorities here calling on the police to do more to arrest the perpetrators, as we see another group of mourners here, relatives going to welcome the body of the deceased as the funeral service will get underway this afternoon. So in terms of what we know so far is that the investigation is underway. The incident happened yesterday evening. ANC leaders from eThekwini region as well as ANC KwaZulu-Natal provincial office have visited the family of the slain ANC deputy chairperson of the branch, that is Ward 14, which includes areas such as Wandengezi and Marian Hill here in the eThekwini region. Let's take a listen to what Mr. Ishmael Masego, who speaks on behalf of the family, had to say about how they feel as a family and whether the deceased did tell them about his life being under threat or not. Let's take a listen.
Baba ngibingelele kuqala nje akakhulu utho akawasreportela khona ukuthi kunabantu abamthreatenishayo and besicabanga nje ukuthi isimo sinormal yana kuyena nje. So not unless ngalelo suku ke izolo la ufika khona ngathi uhlangane nabo abafana abawu2 abasuspectayo, so abamlandele wazi bayofika kwiseni la abafika khona bamdubulela khona into siyaziyo njengamanje.
Ubephuma emhlanganweni ngaleso sikhathi?
Yebo, bephuma emhlanganweni baba.
Bekumhlangano wakhongolose?
Yeah, bekuyi recruitment drive ya ANC. So ilaba bemfike khona ngoba amanye ama comrade masizwa kuthiwa besehambile wasala yena ngemuva kulaba emthole khona basebeyamdubula ke esesele namanye ama comrade awu2. No, by the way ngathi belilodwa icomrade ebesesele nalo emotweni bafika la khona ke amanye ama approach aka left amanye ama approach aka right bafike bamdubulela khona ke.
Yeah. Siphamandla, I mean, are there concerns that there's more to this killing than we know? Because recently we've seen other leaders, political leaders from eThekwini region being attacked and some of them being killed. Is there any word at all? Do you know anything?
Yes, Mr. Cassim Phiri becomes the 5th member of the ANC to be gunned down in the eThekwini region alone for the past weeks, if I'm not mistaken. That is a concern not only for ANC leaders and members, but for most people in KwaZulu-Natal, and I would say across South Africa as a whole. Let me tell you why the issue of the killing of political activists, volunteers, leaders and members of political parties is becoming a concern, not only for the ANC, by the way. Let's contextualize it to say in the recent weeks we have seen the killing of IFP activists, councillors and members also of the IFP being gunned down across KwaZulu-Natal or in some parts of the province, including the northern part and the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands. So that is a concern overall. To rewind a bit, let's go back and say there was a commission of inquiry, the Mwerane Commission of Inquiry, looking into the political killings of activists, leaders and those who hold public offices affiliated with politics or political parties in KwaZulu-Natal. It found that in most cases those who are killed, they are killed because of either internal fights within their own political parties, competition for political positions and resources that they preside over in their various wards, their municipalities or political parties. So yes, there has been a commission of inquiry that has investigated the spate of killings in KwaZulu-Natal, but for these killings in the eThekwini region, the ANC in the province says it's concerned about what is happening, calling on law enforcement agencies, particularly intelligence structures, to do more to gather information and intelligence that can lead to the prevention of such acts before they are committed. Peggy Mtolo being strong and harsh on criticizing criminal justice system in the country, particularly the issue of intelligence structures, saying they are factionalized, they are focusing on ANC politics rather than doing their job. Let's take a listen to what he said about the killings in the eThekwini region, and also saying this could be part of intimidating those who want to join or serve the ANC. Let's take a listen.
Our analysis is that we've lost in a short space of time 5 leaders in eThekwini. I think there's an underground work to intimidate people to associate themselves with the ANC in eThekwini, especially young people, because they are now targeting young people that are working very hard. I think they want to instill fear because they see that the ANC is coming strong in KwaZulu-Natal, but particularly in eThekwini. Remember, in eThekwini now is one of the most stable regions of our province and our country. I think there's an underground work that we must not undermine to intimidate young people, so that when they associate themselves with the ANC, they must think that ANC and death is one and the same thing. I think, but we are not cowards. We are not born of cowards. We are not going to be intimidated. We're going to carry the spear of Comrade Cassim and soldier on. We'll defeat them.
I guess, Siphamandla, there will be concern about the killings of these political activists across the different parties, as you've spoken, as you've mentioned just now. But also, we've seen the killing in and around the eThekwini of members of Abahlali, leaders of Abahlali, Basem Jondolo. So that political violence, maybe it is what it is, it's concerning, but some people might just point to this to be just a result of violent crime that's besetting large parts of South Africa.
That would be the case. Even the ANC regional secretary in eThekwini, Musanceki, is of the view that this is purely a criminal matter, that it should be treated as such. He does concede that it is worrying, though, that would have about 5 ANC members and leaders being gunned down in eThekwini within a space of weeks. However, he says police should look at this as an act of pure criminality, and that South Africa as a country needs to address the issue of violent crime, where people will just be shot and killed just like that. He says if there is one thing that the ANC-led government is struggling with, is to deal decisively with reducing violent crime levels in South Africa, not only for the killing of politicians, activists and those who hold public office, but generally speaking, rampant crime in South Africa is at a crisis level, and it's something that the ANC leadership in the eThekwini region says needs to be addressed, and it can lead into solving some of the cases, and they will be able to distinguish whether certain leaders, activists and politicians were gunned down as a result of politics or just pure criminal elements that were at play. Let's take a listen to Musanceki.
Angeke ngize ngikufakazise lokho amaphoyisa ofanele asilekelele lokho, kodwa ke ngaphandle kwalokho ikhona nayo element ecrime eniyakhula icrime. Uyabo okuchaza ukuthi ke njenge-ANC kufanele sifake ipressure nathi kuhulumeni wethu emaphoyiseni ukuthi ayakabophe manje.
Crime kufanele iqedwe uyena uhulumeni kaKhongolose, inini eniphethizwe, inini eninensiza kusebenza ama resources. Is the ANC-led government that should eradicate crime in South Africa?
No, kuyiqiniso lokho kuphela fanele kunye sikuvuma ukuthi hayi kukhona kwezinye indawo la isibheke khona and fanele siqinise khona yilokho sisho ukuthi sifuna ufaka ipressure amaphoyisa improve indlela asebenza ngayo uma kunalezi zimo asheshe baboshwe abantu.
Well, let's just focus now on what's happening right there. We are seeing those live visuals of the men gathered, waiting for the start as Siphamandla of the funeral service. And I guess it will be performed according to Muslim burial rites, from what we can tell, for Mr. Cassim Phiri. Do you have an idea what the program is said to be like? Should we expect some speeches will be delivered this afternoon during the burial service?
Not political speeches, as my colleague here, Lunge Lozungu, will be penning and showing you. It's not only male members of the society that are here. You also have female members that are part of this, funeral service. They are here to pay their respects and to mourn. In terms of the program, we understand that it will be very brief. It will only be about prayers. The body will just be ushered inside the house. Members of the family will have a private session there and to perform whatever needs to be performed, and then after that there will be a prayer service and very few speeches from those who will be leading the prayer service, and family members and a number of very few friends and comrades who were very close to the deceased may be able to say something. But in terms of high-profile politicians speaking, that will not happen because all of them have left. They were here earlier on, including the provincial secretary of the ANC, Bheki Mtolo, regional chairperson of eThekwini, Zandile Gumede, regional secretary in eThekwini, Musa Nciki. Those are some of the high-profile leaders of the ANC that visited the family. They did address the ANC members who had come with them to pay their respects here, and then after that they left. It's now a private affair for the family members and very close friends here, as I see Mr. Ishmael Masego, who is the uncle to the late Cassim Phiri, making his way coming back here. That signals the fact that the body will be arriving any minute from now. He's coming back to make sure that everything is in order. He's the gentleman wearing an ANC regalia and the cap. My colleague Lungelo will show you now Mr. Masego, whom we interviewed earlier, making his way inside the yard here. So that signals the fact that the funeral service will get underway, but speeches will be very few. It's only about family and those who are from the religious sector.
Thank you very much, Siphamandla Goge, for that update there from the home there in KwaZulu-Natal, in eThekwini, KwaZulu-Natal, of Cassim Phiri, who was gunned down last night, and member of the ANC, a chair or deputy chair of one of the wards there, and he's going to be buried shortly according to Muslim burial rites. Thank you very much, Siphamandla, for that update. Now